All right, everybody. So, as you may have heard, Redfin has now officially launched their 2022 home values and predictions for the next year. We're going to review that right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Sacramento's Real Estate Channel, where we talk everything there is to know about the brand new bills and of course, what there is to do here in Sacramento. If you've been thinking about making a move to the area, subscribe to the channel. And just so you know, we go live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. We'll see you there. Well, I'm so excited to have you guys back with us. As you all know, we go live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m., giving you all the real estate facts, everything that I can think of that might be pertinent to you as a home buyer or seller here in Sacramento's real estate market. So guys, welcome once again. If you can, drop some comments in the chat. Let us know if there's anything that I can cover for you or anything that might spike some interest. So let's hop into it. Redfin recently came out with a huge article, their top 10 predictions about what's going to happen with the real estate market. And this is actually their chief economist given this article, given these points. So instead of going through all the top 10, I'm going to review some of the top ones that I think are going to be huge in the real estate market for next year. So as you may have heard, people have been saying interest rates are going to rise, interest rates are going to rise, and it's been going on for forever. But now their chief economist is actually saying that they will here in the next few months. Now, prediction number one, here it is. Mortgage rates will rise to 3.6%, bringing price growth down to earth. What does down to earth actually mean? As you guys may have seen, prices have been outrageous. Some people in 1 year have gained almost 20% in home value. So yes, that's been a little bit outrageous. Now, the current interest rates for mortgages on a conventional, you'll see right around 3%, more or less. So bumping up to 3.6% is actually going to be a huge game changer for a lot of people, especially people in the entry-level market. That can change their monthly payment dramatically or even make them have to move into a different neighborhood or maybe not able to purchase the home that they're looking to buy. So just to give you an idea, so she's saying that the mortgage rates will rise slowly from about 3% to about 3.6% by the end of 2022. Thanks to the pandemic subsiding and lingering inflation. Okay, that's her reason. That would mean about $100 more per month in mortgage payments for the median priced home. So about $100 more for the median price home. Of course, she's talking nationally. So these things, as far as your mortgage payment is going to adjust. If you guys can, there's actually a video. Don't do it yet. But at the end, there's actually a video that I brought on, I believe it was last week. My buddy, Sean Asplund, awesome lender in the area. We actually did some back and forth. I believe the video is called Save Some Cash, Avoid Paying PMI. We run some scenarios there on how your monthly mortgage payment can adjust depending on interest rate. And of course, if you're paying PMI or not. Someone is already giving me lovely comments. Yes, this is a fancy new blazer. It's not new, but I like it. So thank you for that comment. Keep your guys' comments going. If they're real estate related, even better. But thanks for joining on. So that's prediction number one. Mortgage rates will rise to about 3.6%. And I got to say, that's not crazy. I've personally been expecting that. I was actually kind of thinking that it would already happen by the end of this year. And that's what we were kind of predicting and seeing. But them saying that it'll happen next year is not too crazy. So that's number one. Number two, new listings will hit a 10-year high, which will hardly make a dent in the ongoing supply shortage. So I think that's very interesting that new listings will hit a 10-year high. So it says in 2022, new listings will surpass the 2018 high of 7.6 million homes, setting a new record going back to at least 2012. As the market becomes more balanced, homeowners will find it less daunting to list their home while looking for a new home to buy. And I got to say, okay, yes, absolutely. This is one thing that could happen. Many people have been holding off on moving to their next home because they know the market's a little tight. a little tight. They know it's fast, so they might be holding off on selling their home because of the unsurety of getting their next home. Now, I literally just helped someone do this about 2 weeks ago. We sold her home same day. We got into contract on another home in the neighborhood she wants to be in. So it's very doable, but I could see how a lot of people are holding off on that, and that will bring more inventory to the market once people start feeling more comfortable, feeling the slow of the pace. A more normalized market could definitely bring more listings to the table. One thing, as we kind of, before we go further, I wanted to show you guys, I totally missed this, so my fault. I wanted to show you this chart back to the mortgage rates if they do take that bump up. I wanted to show you some history with that, so you at least you kind of know what's going on if you haven't really been in the market. Here we go. If I could get this thing to cooperate. So if you can see here, they're saying that where we're at there, you can see at the bottom to the right, end of 2021, we're still in that 3% zone. And you could see if we jump to 3.6%, that's actually not a small little dip up from what we've seen the last few years. So as you can see, we're still in record lows. So to me personally, if you were a buyer and kind of been avoiding to buy, and now you want to hop in the game, yeah, seeing that increase is going to hurt a little bit. It's going to, not be as favorable. But if you look at the previous history here, I mean, everything is hovering over 3%, even into the 4% and more. Regardless, even in the early 2000s, you're seeing anywhere between 5 to 8% even. So hovering still in the threes is honestly very favorable. So, to me, as a real estate professional, seeing this and knowing historical data, it doesn't really scare me. But I could see that to a home buyer, it might be a little daunting. Okay. So another thing, before I go into price prediction number two, I should say prediction number two, I want to talk about prices really quick. So they were mentioning that prices are probably going to stunt in growth a little bit. And what I wanted to bring up was that, will prices adjust based on how the interest rates perform? And, typically you'd say there's a correlation. It goes that if interest rates rise, home prices will fall because affordability changes. And I would have to say, in a normal market, that's pretty true. But it's hard to really gauge exactly, because now we have kind of incredible inflation going on right now. So things are changing, and a lot of people are wanting to purchase items that are anti-inflation or a hedge against inflation. So this just kind of brings in a new variable, especially going through the pandemic and everything about the last 2 years. It's hard to say how the market's going to react because it's been anything but a normal market. But I wanted to show you this because I've used this before, and this is a home forecast, not from Redfin. This is a separate item, but I wanted to show you that four major economists, or basically economists for different organizations, put out their projections for 2022, or their forecasts. And as you can see, there's a 8.4%, a 5.3, a 5.1, a 3.1. Out of the average of those, you're averaging about a 5.5% increase in pricing. So 5.5%, it's still very conservative. It's very interesting to see that, because a lot of people have even seen, double-digit growth in their neighborhoods, especially outside of Sacramento or in hotter areas. So that's just very interesting to see that. What Redfin is saying is that 2022 will bring a more balance to the housing market. Don't expect a buyer's market, just more selection, less frenzy, and slower price growth. Okay. We will see a rush to buy homes at the start of the year before those mortgage rates rise. In the second half of the year, a much needed increase in new construction will boost sales slightly, but not dramatically. In 2022, there will be 1% more sales than in 2021. Okay, not a huge change, but still some growth. But by the end of the year, home price growth will slow to 3%. Okay, so home price growth, they're saying, will slow to 3%. As I showed you that graph right before, they're saying about average 5.5% between the four, and Redfin is saying 3%. 3% is not terrible. It's still pretty good. And I wanted to show you what that looks like on the overall span of things. So they're saying the existing home sale price growth. So as you can see in 2021, it was over 20%, almost hitting 24% growth. And they're saying that in 2022 and 23, even it's going to jump down to about 3%. So I would say all the people that are kind of in speculation to buy a home now and be up in crazy equity next year, maybe so. Honestly, if you buy a fixer in the right neighborhood, right timing, you could still see some of that. But I would say that from a more conservative approach, I wouldn't expect those crazy numbers that we've seen, especially in the last 2, 3 years. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, again, these are not my predictions. These are economist predictions. Specifically, we're going through the top 10 for Redfin today. So just keep that in mind. When you're going through data, you should always kind of look at worst case scenario and best case scenario. Okay. So I love hope, but you have to be confident in what you're doing at the same time. Let's hop into this. Prediction number 2. We've already went over that. Prediction number 3. Rents will increase by about 7%. So rents will increase, they're saying by the end of 22, by 7%. Which is interesting because rent on average in Sacramento is about $1,709 per Rent Cafe. It's a website. You can look up little areas and apartments and stuff and see kind of what the average rents are going for. And they're saying rents are about $1,709 right now. To be in a normal neighborhood, in a nicer neighborhood in Sacramento, I mean, I've seen homes easily 2,000, 2,200 and up. And we're talking about for starter homes, starter family homes, 3-bed, 1-bath, 3-bed, 2-bath, that are pushing $2,000 or more a month right now if you're looking for a home with a backyard. And if anything has told us is that really COVID has actually created a huge push for single family homes, as opposed to sometimes, condos, townhomes, more restricted, kind of closer knit quarters and areas. So people kind of want their space. We've seen that. And so I thought that it was interesting, and that rents will increase by 7%. So if you've been kind of holding off and you've been holding on to your month to month or your yearly lease and kind of been seeing your prices increase, I would say expect next year for an increase as well. As the market keeps growing, as the real estate market, homes keep growing, naturally rents will also increase. Okay. So that's prediction number 3. Prediction number 4. Are you guys ready for it? I thought this one was interesting. If I'm going to be honest, this one kind of threw me off for a spin. It says that home buyers will relocate to affordable cities. And it's interesting that they pointed out to these like Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to my cousins in Columbus, Indianapolis, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania over the Sun Belt. Okay. So it's saying in 2022, people will be less likely to move to Sun Belt cities that dominated the 2021 housing market. Cities such as Austin, Atlanta, and Phoenix have seen home prices increase by 29%, 24%, and 35%, respectively, since the start of the pandemic, making them less attractive to home buyers that prioritize affordability. Yeah, I could see that happening a lot. If you've been able to work remotely, we've seen this even in Sacramento. A lot of our clientele, maybe even from out of state or in more expensive cities or areas such as the Bay Area, they found out that they can work remotely from their office in home. They can buy a bigger home, make a room an office, and become a YouTuber like me, basically. So we're seeing that more and more, and it's causing people to say, hey, I'm going to make the same amount of money. Why don't I save my cash and move into another area, which is a lot more affordable? So we're seeing that as well here in our area. So it's interesting that they mentioned these other cities. I get that from a national perspective, but I believe we're going to start seeing that more and more, especially out of the Bay Area. Some people are also even leaving Sacramento. So even they got priced out of Sacramento, or they're able to relocate jobs, or again, work from a home office, and they're moving out of state with the same or similar income and going into a more affordable location. So I could see that happening. Some of the states that I'm seeing as far as moving out of California, the big ones that I'm seeing are Tennessee. Shout out to Tennessee. A few into Texas, South Carolina, Florida, Those have been kind of some big ones. Idaho, not as much anymore, but those are some bigger ones that I've seen, kind of giving you that more affordability in your space. Okay, so that's interesting. Prediction number 4. Prediction number 5, and I know this one is going to be controversial with some of you, so drop it in the chat and help me out here with the algorithm. Prediction number 5, based on Redfin, is going to say people will vote with their feet, moving to places that align with their politics. Now, back to the previous point, this actually falls in line with this one, that it's saying that now that workers have more control over where they live, more people will seek out areas where there are like-minded people with laws that fit their political beliefs. 100%. I'm seeing this over and over again. I don't care to debate with you. I'm just saying this is a fact that people will move to areas where their political beliefs are more valued or same like-minded people, 100%. And I've seen it even into Sacramento and out of Sacramento. So that is a huge one, and we're seeing that more and more. All right, drop it in the chat, guys. Come on, it's getting dry over here. So prediction number 6, condo demand will take off. So they're saying condo demand will take off. And in 2022, dense housing will make a comeback. More and more homebuyers are open to buying a condo or townhome for a fraction of the price of a single family home. That's a reversal from when the pandemic lockdowns, and I've stated this, motivated homebuyers to seek out larger homes with big backyards. I just said this a few minutes ago, which caused single family home prices to increase 27% from the start of the pandemic, while condo home prices only increased by 14%. So you're seeing 27% and condos only increasing by 14%, which is half the appreciation. And I tell my home buyers this too. If you can pinch it and just boost the home price a little bit and go buy a single family home, you will definitely have more odds in your favor to have bigger home appreciation. Now, if you can't do so, condos are a great starter home. A lot of the times, especially if there's a good HOA, a good one, a good HOA, let me say that again. They can sometimes cover the roof, the exterior maintenance, all the dry rot on the exterior of the buildings, security, even maybe even a gated community. Might even offer structural insurance, which is awesome. So it saves you some costs. I've even seen some that cover obviously your garbage because it's a community garbage, but then also they might pay for sewage, they might pay for water. So there's different structures. So a lot of those, the HOA can cover a lot and be very beneficial. Now, so if you wanted to get into kind of a more starter home and maybe your loan is not allowing you to kind of get into the home that you want, this is a good way to start. But I will say, even from experience, just seeing homes just naturally appreciate more than condos. But prediction number 6 is saying that condo demand will take off. So some food for thought. I want to hop back to this question. I forgot to kind of answer it. And my buddy Steven here wrote, will the interest rate going up slightly make enough of a difference to change the market in favor of buyers? And, I'd have to say it really depends on what area, because like I said before, if the rates even jump up a little bit, for some people, that's going to determine where they live and if they're still in the market or not. You'd be surprised, but a lot of entry-level home buyers, a difference of $100 or $200 a month will change things for them. So I think that the interest rate increasing a little bit will kind of balance out the market a little bit, maybe drop the crazy growth, the home appreciation growth. I think it'll stunt it a little bit to more conservative numbers, as I was pointing out earlier in the video. So keep an eye out for that. We'll probably see a little bit of slowdown, but we're still going to have the price increases, but we'll probably just not see as an aggressive of a market. Now, prediction number 7, I thought this was interesting. I mean, this one kind of took me off guard. I was like, I guess it makes sense. But homebuyers, prediction number 7, homebuyers will take climate risks seriously. Now, when I read that headline, I was like, where are we going with this? But it actually makes sense. And even in our own backyard here outside of Sacramento, check this out. Now that natural disasters are increasing in frequency and climate risk data is available on real estate websites like Redfin, there's that shout out. Home buyers are going to come to their agents with questions about climate risk and associated costs. Home buyers will want to know about a home or neighborhood's flood or fire risk and how that impacts their insurance costs or the mortgage rate set by their lender, a practice known as blue lining. Home sellers will make climate resilient investments in order to appeal to climate conscious homebuyers. And I could see this happening in areas that flood, such as Houston, Texas, other areas where there's just been huge, devastating disasters or tornadoes. And even in our area, I mean, we've had a few huge fires in California recently that have gotten within an hour drive of Sacramento or even closer. And I've had a few friends even fighting those fires. So thank you guys for that. Huge shout out to you. But buyers have kind of dabbled with the idea that they still want to live in rural properties, kind of up the hill in forested areas. But with those fires kind of increasing, insurances have gone up and premiums have gone up. And so a lot of times before we even go see a house up the hill, I'm saying, are you guys ready to pay higher insurance rates? Are you ready to fork out, $3, $5, sometimes even $10,000 a year just to insure your home? Is it worth it to you? And so that'll be the conversation. And before we even go look at a home, sometimes I'll say, hey, let's get a quote from a local insurance broker and see where they come in at and see if this is still affordable for you and if this is really what you want to do. So prediction number 7, I could see that happening even in our area. And that's why I decided to keep this one on. Guys, if you guys are enjoying this content, smash that like button. Share this with somebody who may want to hear this or see this. Of course, I'm also going to link down below the article. If you want to read the full article, there's still a few more points if you want to get those across. So what's the basis of all of this? 2022's Redfin predictions. What I'm anticipating is that the mortgage rates will in fact increase a little bit. We've already been talking about that on the show if you guys have been watching. Redfin is determining that they will increase to about 3.6%. So keep an eye out for that. I think with that increase is definitely going to stunt how home prices have been growing. It's not going to be as fast, as quick pace, but it'll still keep going. And as they're anticipating about 3%, and what I showed you on my graphs, we're averaging about 5.5%. So they're saying that 3 to 5.5%, not huge, but still considerable. On a median price home here in the Sacramento County, $550,000. If we increase by 5.5%, that puts you at about $580,000. So that's about 30 grand roughly in just 1 year in home appreciation if it sticks to those numbers. Again, you guys should do your own research. I'm doing my best to give you all the information that I can to help you make an informed decision. If you guys like this video and like tuning in with us every Tuesday at 5:30, like or share this video. I'd really appreciate that. Again, drop a comment down below. Guys, I'm going live again next Tuesday. Hope you care to join me. Thank you so much for watching.